We just got our first trailer and release date for the Promised Land series, which we've been waiting for a while. We've been following this project for over 2 years now, which is insane. And of course, if you don't know me, my name's Brandon. I've been talking about biblical media for the past 5 years, shows like The Chosen, Testament, House of David, and now the Promised Land series, as we're obviously going to break it down as it comes out this year. And I'm going to tell you that release date in just a second. First, let's check out this article and this brand new trailer that just dropped this morning and where it's going to stream on. Now, if you've heard of the Promised Land series, you've probably heard of it as The Office meets The Chosen, or The Office meets Exodus, something like that. And that is super, super true for the most part of what this show is. It is a workplace comedy that is essentially The Office, the style of The Office, that mockumentary style, but done for Moses and the story of the Israelites crossing through the wilderness and eventually getting to the Promised Land. And so this is going to happen over several seasons, and I've heard movies, possibly some different things like that. And so it's going to be really, really interesting. But let's read some of this. Thanks to the popularity of shows like The Chosen and House of David, biblical dramas have been on the rise in recent years, both of the aforementioned titles on famous characters from the Bible and dig into the heavy themes and stories that the audience knows best. But what if these same tales were reimagined with a comedic twist, perhaps even something in line with The Office or Parks and Recreation? That's precisely what Mitch Hudson set out to do when he penned and helmed a new project titled The Promised Land. Now, if you're not familiar with The Chosen or not familiar with the crew of The Chosen, Mitch Hudson should be a familiar name to you. Mitch is actually the second AD on The Chosen. What does that mean? Well, he's basically in charge of the background actors of The Chosen. So he's been a big part of it since day one of The Chosen, all the way back in season 1. He's been there and part of the crew and been doing an amazing job. But a few years ago, he got together with some friends of his and began writing this series, The Promised Land. And so really, really cool to see him succeed in such an amazing way so far, and the future looks very, very bright for him as well. Today, Collider is thrilled to share its first look of the show's trailer, which follows Moses, which is Wasim Nomani. Again, if you watch The Chosen, this is Yanni in The Chosen, as he leads his people to the titular utopia. In addition to unveiling the trailer, we're also excited to share with readers what they can expect to tune in on YouTube this October for the 6th episode launch of this hilarious production. Now, it's 6 episodes in the first season, so less than we're used to with other productions. But what's really cool with this is it's an independently produced and distributed product, which means that it goes on YouTube for the free. Unlike many of the other projects we've been looking at, which seems like they're charging more and more and more to watch these different things. You know, The Chosen is in theaters, then it goes on Amazon Prime, then eventually, 6 months, 8 months, 10 months later, it's free on the Chosen app, which is great. House of David, I don't think will ever be free to watch. I think it'll always be some sort of paid version in order to get access to that. But this is free from day one on YouTube. This is not a YouTube original where you have to go and pay for it. It's just on YouTube. That is incredible. And I think it's incredibly smart as well, because this is going to really make this blow up virally. They're going to know that season 1 of this show in particular, it's super important to get your show off the ground, right? If you don't have a backing studio like Amazon Prime for House of David, for example, then you're not going to have the massive numbers unless you have a large audience that's willing and capable to come to you at any moment's notice. And so here, going to YouTube is incredibly smart, I think, especially with the audience that they're bringing in here. It's more millennials and Gen Z that this audience is catered to. And so they have a lot of short form content that's blowing up. They have a bunch of different fun videos and different things that are within that realm of that audience. And so makes a ton of sense that we're seeing that there. And we get to see that it's coming in October. Specifically, we're going to see the date of that in the trailer here in just a moment. The trailer introduces Nomani's Moses as he tries to enlighten and lead the followers through the wilderness and towards salvation. All right, you can read the rest of this article if you want. I'll leave it in the description down below. But let's check out this video, this trailer for season 1, the first 6 episodes, which if you've seen the pilot, you've already seen episode 1. So really 5 new episodes for this season. And we'll talk about it. We'll let it play through. Then we'll talk about it. We'll go through and deep dive what I can kind of find out throughout this trailer here. Let's listen.
When you enter the land the Lord your God is giving you.
These are my people, ready to listen, eager to learn. Why can't the whole nation be like this?
This is all the water I have left.
You have water!
Give it to me! No, share!
49 days with the Hebrews, and still, no one suspects me.
It's time to demonstrate trust. I'll go first.
Well done, Cora. Very impressive.
Help me up.
Master, Joshua, please, it's Moses. Yes, Master Moses.
We will observe the consecration of my brother Aaron as high priest.
What a surprise! The brother of our leader was given the highest position within our religion. I wonder how he got that job. I wonder if, this is me wondering, and oh, you know what it is? Nepotism.
All right, so new series October 1st. So super cool. Let's jump through this again and just talk about what we can find in this. Of course, here we've got a tablet, Moses holding a tablet. Tablets are going to be incredibly important in this season, as we know that he's going to be approaching the 10 Commandments and all that's happening there as well. We should expect to see the golden calf, which we saw in some of the behind the scenes videos as well. And then of course we saw the beginning of the tabernacle there, along with Aaron as the high priest and the people that are making the stuff for the high priest. We're going to talk about that, of course, as we get into season 1, but let's just jump through this a little bit here. So of course we've got Moses starting out reading some of these rules that of course are written in the first few books of the Old Testament, the book of Moses, essentially there.
When you enter the land the Lord your God is giving you.
These are my people.
So you can see here, there are some people that are dedicating time to Moses, the elders here that are coming to speak with him. Of course, we'll go over all of this scriptural stuff. The one thing that I really love about this show, and similar to The Chosen, right? They're not just doing a TV show, but it is really based on the scriptures. And so even though it's comedy, even though it's satire, even though it's funny, there's a real heart behind this of biblical accuracy, which is very cool to see.
Ready to listen, eager to learn. Why can't the whole nation be like this?
This is all the water.
So like we saw in the pilot, he's had a lot of issues with people just kind of being belligerent or not listening to the words that he says, or just kind of being dumb. And so here we see an example of that, someone coming to him with the only water that they have, and everybody is fighting for it.
Water I have left.
You have water!
Give it to me! Share!
Now, this points to this. We actually saw this shot in the pilot episode whenever Chasisi talks about all the crazy things that he's seen before. And here we see Moses as he's striking the rock. Now, Moses does this twice. God asks him the first time, basically, use the staff that I got you and bring out water from the stone, right? Which is what happens here. But then later, God asks him to speak to the stone, which Moses, historically, and through the time with Pharaoh especially, is known to not have been a very good speaker, right? He asks Aaron to speak for him. Some people even theorize that he may have had a speech impediment or something like that made it harder for him to want to speak to Pharaoh. And so instead of using his voice, he uses the thing that God has done miracles through the entire time, and that is his staff yet again, which the second time that he does this, since he disobeys God and doesn't use his voice to do it, he gets banned from the promised land. And that's a really big thing that happens later. So this moment here is actually really significant. This is probably the first time that he's getting water here for everybody in Israel. But we should expect again to see a big moment later where he gets banned from the promised land. And that's obviously a huge thing, since the series is called the Promised Land series. We're not going to see Moses get there.
49 days with the Hebrews, and still, no one suspects me.
Of course, Chasisi has been a fan favorite for sure in this show. This is an Egyptian that accidentally got on the wrong side of the Red Sea whenever it closed up, and now he's trying to hide among the Hebrews. And we know that in this season, he's going to kind of join Korah's men, which is another really interesting thing here. Really looking forward to their dynamic, as it was so funny in the pilot episode.
It's time to demonstrate trust. I'll go first.
And these people right here are basically Korah's men. Korah has a group of men that he has around him in scriptures, and so here's the same thing. And they operate in some different ways that we've seen throughout the behind the scenes.
Well done, Cora. Very impressive.
Help me up. Master. Joshua, please. It's Moses.
Now, why is Joshua bringing Moses a bowl? Well, we could theorize about that, but I think I'll save it for the actual episodes. Yeah, he's obviously bringing it for a scriptural reason here. We'll talk about that later.
Yes, Master Moses.
We will observe the consecration.
Now, this is obviously the tabernacle behind him, the setup of the tabernacle. There's a bunch of stuff that's going to be going on here, of course, including, later on in the season. If we look at the names of the episodes, which they've already released as well, there's some pretty heavy clues there. Well, we'll jump into that in a second after we're done with this trailer.
Creation of my brother Aaron.
So here we see Aaron, who of course is the high priest, but then next to him we have two other people who are biblical figures. I'll let you find out who they are in the comments down below if you can remember their names. But these are the two people that are basically helping to create the high priestly garbs and as well as the tabernacle and everything else around there. And then kind of making everything go into the artisans that are kind of behind this, if that makes sense. That's why he's wearing like this apron, these leather glove-like things, kind of showing that he's an artisan there, which makes sense.
As high priest.
What a surprise! The brother of our leader was given the highest position within our religion. I wonder how he got that job. I wonder if this is me wondering, and oh, you know what it is? Nepotism.
Of course, Korah is hilarious. Love it for sure. He's sitting out here right outside the tabernacle and complaining about Aaron getting the job. Of course, he wants to be the leader. Later on, of course, this is going to lead to Korah's rebellion, which Korah obviously has a pretty nasty ending. So if you do recognize this face, by the way, if you're a Chosen viewer, this is Zebediah from The Chosen. And so, yeah, very funny stuff from him. He's hilarious. Absolutely. And that's the end of that. Let me jump over to the Promised Land website real fast and let's see the names of the episodes. So if we jump over here, we've got obviously episode 1 is called Pilot. Let me zoom out here so you guys can see. Episode 1 is called Pilot. Episode 2 is called Sinai, so we should expect them to get to Mount Sinai there. Episode 3 is called Pitfalls. My guess would be that they start failing and doing different things. Maybe this is where the golden calf comes in. Not sure. Probably not, though, because the next episode is called Offering, which looks like a bunch of golden items here, which we've seen in some of the behind the scenes. These golden items are probably going to be melted into a golden calf, which obviously is not what is exciting for Moses there, for sure. Next up is Bones. So who knows? Could be anything there. And then Presence is the last one. Presence meaning the presence of God, most likely, right? And so we'll see how that pans out. If you do want to support this show, the best way to do that is just supporting them through their merch and through watching. Obviously, they're trying to self-distribute this through YouTube, so it's actually a pretty big deal to do that. And they probably passed down a lot of money from other people in order to do that. And I think it was very smart. And I think that we should support them because of that. So if you want to support them, if you want to hang out with them, if you want to see what's going on, there's merch, there's a bunch of different stuff. Go check it out, the Promised Land series.tv. And yeah, let me know what you think about this show. It's The Office meets Moses. It's The Chosen, but funny. Like, what do you think about this? Is it your cup of tea? I am going to love this show. Spoiler alert, I'm in this show. So if you want to see it a little bit later, yeah, there's a bunch of stuff coming from this. I am really excited about the future of this show and what they're going to do moving forward. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Subscribe, like, share. Peace.